Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to take a look at the Mastermind Creations Oberon, whatever, Obsidian. So here's the packaging. You see his flight mode, which is a joke. There's the side, back, top, side, bottom. Yay. It's a box. And here is the figure in his helicopter mode. And I do really like the way this came out. I'm trying to think. Oh, I don't have the Beast Machines Obsidian, which I wish I did. I do have the RID repaint of him. So you can see fairly similar designs. So, but yeah, it looks good. Definitely, I think this looks a little sleeker, more modern. And overall, just a better looking helicopter mode. And I'm just trying to find a picture of him so we can take a look at the I'm not seeing one real quick, so we're gonna just go ahead and drop that. Oh, you can kind of see him in this picture here. Up there, so it's not a great picture, and doesn't quite match, but it's fairly close, I'd say, close enough. It's not really the most important thing to do to match that one, but so all right, let's go ahead and take a look at it though. He does have wheels that rotate for landing gear. He's got this little gun thing that can move. You can flip it in if you want, or you can flip it out. I would just leave it out. And he's got the propellers here. And he's got some missile pods here underneath the wing. And I do apologize, the dogs are all upstairs playing around. So anyway, you can untab this. They're in there very tight. And yeah, looks good. No problems there. We can take this one off as well. Moving that all off to the side. My camera seemed to change colors here. There we go. Alright, so anyway, back to this. So yeah, he looks good. To transform him, it's fairly simple. Seems a lot more complex when you first get him out of the box than he really is. So you move these two pieces here up, just kind of get those out of the way. Untab this section here, and then you can pull the legs down. You will rotate the waist, flip the gun in, and then this can fold down like that. Split the legs, rotate forward, open this up, this will flip down, rotate, open, down, there. Flip the landing gear in on the sides. There's a special bit of instructions that came in the box that said to press this button here for transformation, but I have yet to see a reason why, unless maybe you're going to his flight mode. Untab this, and then this section here comes up, just like that. Just like that. Rotate, flip the landing gear back, open this section here. Maybe we've got to fold the arms up first. So these just, they're on sliders, as you can see. So you slide them forward. Just like that. This will rotate down, and then before you pull it all the way up, you can push his head up. This will rotate back. Fold up like that. And then you can kind of position these however you need to. And let's see here. Pull this little lever here, and you'll reveal his fingers. Same thing on this side. And there you go. Now you can keep these things plugged in if you want. You don't have to take them out for transformation by any means. Just gonna keep them under his arms if you want to. They're stored there just fine, no problems, so might as well just leave them where they are. And yeah, looks okay. I have some problems with them though. Primarily the design overall. So I'm going to show you a picture of what he looked like in Beast Machines. So this is what he looked like in Beast Machines, and this is what he looked like here. Let me see if I can find. Here's a better picture, more of a drawing. But so you can see in the drawing he's a little bit more gray, which I think is kind of accurate. I don't know. I think the coloration's fairly good. But he's got these long, spindly little fingers, and instead he's got these 4 little spikes. And as you see, the legs merge into one here, which of course his can. And of course that messed up the color on the camera again. And I'm not going to go into that flight mode, but you can see from the front, I mean, it just looks ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, all they do is do they even actually plug in together? I don't think they do. I think you just kind of pretend that they plug in together and just kind of cross your fingers a bit. Okay, yeah, it's good. And yeah, so that's very disappointing. Overall, though, I mean, the figure, it's nice. There's nothing wrong with the actual figure. Well, I think there's one little slight hiccup, but we'll get to that here in a second. So let's go over posability. His head is on a swivel, so left and right, and up and down. Also, the head doesn't quite look like Obsidian. It's a little bit... It's not as elongated as it should be. These do hinge here and here, so you can kind of maneuver them however you need to. And then this does spin. Shoulders swivel. And then there's an in and out. And this piece does also hinge as well, just ever so slightly, so you can get a little bit more posability there. There is a swivel at the bicep. Double hinged elbow. Another swivel at the wrist. The hand swivels. As you can see in here, he does have a little clawed hand. So if you have a 5mm weapon, which I don't have readily available, but let's take Striker's gun here. We'll try hers out. And yeah, so he can hold a weapon like that. The waist swivels. You can see it's kind of getting caught up with the chest piece here. But it does move. Hips ratchet up and down. Just friction in and out. There is a thigh swivel. This panel here is on its own individual piece, so you can maneuver it however you need to. I kind of like getting out to the side, so it just adds that little bit of extra bulk to him. He's got a nice ratcheted knee, and then this ratchets as well. I don't know if this is what they're warning you about, is bending that piece. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. And then for the feet, you got to move this panel here out of the way. And then you've got a ball joint for the foot. So you get a little up, down, and you get a pretty decent rocker. The problem is, like if you're going to go for a wide stance here, this piece here has to stay up. You can kind of get it down a little bit further, but it doesn't really go back into place. This needed to have like a swivel right here to kind of make that work a little bit better. Because of that, when you have it straight up and down, that's pretty much the only way you can get that foot plate or that cover over the foot to really sit into the correct position. So that's disappointing. But overall, I mean, he looks good. Definitely looks like an updated version of the character. I would say if you're looking for a definitive definitive Obsidian right from the cartoon, this is not really the case here. I don't know if this is how he looks in IDW, because I don't read IDW and I don't care. So to all those people out there, well, you should read IDW and all that. I'm not going to. I'm not going to even look it up for reference. I only got this because it's from Beast Machines, and I was dying to get a good strike or good Obsidian. I hope they give us. I would hope that they would give us a good Tankor, Thrust, and Jetstorm. Maybe Jetstorm out of the Cyclonus mold. He does clean up fairly well, as you can see. Looks good from all angles. I mean, he looks good. He's just not a good Obsidian, if that makes sense. He's a decent Obsidian. He's just not. He's not great. Let me transform this little guy over here real quick. So now with the little one, now of course the paint's completely off, but you can see the head. This is much more of a proper head for Obsidian, with the long spindly neck and the elongated head. That is how he was in the show. Maybe not quite that extreme, but definitely there. And then the feet, as you can see, they kind of still form into one leg. You can split them apart and just make them regular feet, but that just doesn't feel right. Now, he is definitely designed to have two legs, most likely because they designed it off of the Whirl mold. So he definitely has the two legs, and there's not much you can do about it at this point. But yeah, maybe MMC can do like an upgrade kit that just does one solid leg. That would be pretty nifty. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna give him a 7 out of 10. Let's do some size comparisons here real quick. Here he is with a Deluxe and a Legends. I don't have a Voyager handy at all. I need to buy a new Voyager, I guess. But yeah, there he is with those, and a good Obsidian would not be complete without Striker. So there they are together. I kind of wish he was a little bit smaller too, because he never seemed as big as Striker. So anyway, I give him a 7 out of 10. The materials are great. The paint is great. The overall playability of the figure is great. The only thing that I'm against on this is how the legs work, and how that head works, or how they look. Oh, and the hands. The overall aesthetics of the figure are actually kind of taking away from some of the more important aesthetics of Obsidian. Now, like with the Striker, they took some liberties with there, but they still kind of hit those key important elements of the character well. So, I mean, we could go back to this picture here real quick. Nope. So here you'd see, like, she could have been maybe a little bit more vibrant, and as you can see, the wheels are her feet. But having the wheels right there next to the feet, I think was close enough. The head is pretty much spot on, and the overall, like, bulk of the character is pretty much spot on. Whereas he, you know, without the spindly little hands, the elongated head, and the single foot, you know, you're really kind of killing the, you know, 3 out of 4 most, as, you know, most important aesthetics about the figure. The only one that they got right is the world blade or propellers above the shoulders. I cannot talk today. Anyway, it's a good figure. I'd say pick it up if you're a fan of MMC, or if you're like me and you're just like, okay, it's good enough for an Obsidian. I'll take it, and I'll, you know, maybe swap it out later on down the road. But if somebody ever makes a better one. But yeah, I know they have the Impactor, or maybe the Tarn figure would make a good Tankor. I don't know if they've done a good motorcycle that you could say would make a good thrust, unless they maybe, I don't know. I don't think they've done a motorcycle yet, have they? They should, because then they can do the thrust and then maybe retool it into, what was the name? Not Lockdown. Oil Slick. Kind of get 2 birds with 1 stone there. And the Cyclonus, I think, would make a no-brainer into Jetstorm. So it would be really cool if they get... I mean, I would be happy, even with them being updated versions of the characters. I'd be happy with that. Just to be able to sit there and say, I have all the Viacon generals. Something that most collections don't have a good rendition of, because the original Tankor, while it's a fun figure, is not close enough to the animation model. The Generations one's way too small. And then the rest of them, like, their scale's all over the place. The quality's all over the place. I mean, this was Obsidian. This was the scale of the Obsidian. This is as big as he got. And that thing is just, I mean, it's essentially a Legends class today. It was a basic back then, but the Legends class today. That's what this Viacon General size scale was. And then Jetstorm was both a deluxe and a supreme or ultra class. But anyway, I do recommend him. I just don't hold your breath and sit there and think, okay, this is going to be the best Obsidian ever made. And in a way, it is. I do still want to get the BotCon set one of these days to take a look at him. I know he's way off the reservation too, but his makes more sense because he's supposed to be the Autobot version before he got reformatted by Megatron. I don't know where these guys fit in the timelines. Maybe they're supposed to be before it, or maybe they're supposed to be newer versions of it, IDW style. I don't know. But anyway, I'm okay with it. I'm ultimately happy with him. I think he looks good, especially with these two together. You know, one on its own is like, oh, that's kind of cool. But put them both together, then it's like, all right, that's fucking awesome. So yeah, there you go.